And this is Sid.
And this is the Earth is Ghetto podcast. We're back.
Welcome to the ghetto.
With more fuckery.
Gosh, we have some topics for you, and I swear, the more that you know what? We'll just get into the mental health check-in. How are you feeling? Yeah, let's do that. Let's start.
That's how I feel. Just And then what I want to talk about is the debate is that's what's really got me like because wow.
Yeah, that was rough.
But other than that, I've been watching a lot of anime lately. That's been helping my mental health.
Absolutely. I've been watching so much Jujutsu Kaisen. You have to get into it. I can't wait until you start. And that's made me really happy. As far as the rest of my mental health, I wish that my therapist would hurry up and get off maternity leave.
How much longer has got you?
Oh,
I'll be back next summer.
I would have to understand, but it's hard right now. That's all I have to say. It's hard right now. But I don't know what topic you want to get into first. You know what? Since we already have the video queued up, let's talk about Kanye. Again, I know everybody's like, oh my God, again, how can we do this again?
Yeah.
I feel like we've done so many Dear Kanyes, and I don't even think we've been doing this for 3 years now. And this is a lot of Dear Kanyes. And this one isn't even a Dear Kanye. This is more just like, I knew it was bad. I knew he was sick. I knew a lot of those things. I guess I have to stop pretending that it doesn't go this far.
Yeah.
I think that's really what it is. So there's another victim. Her name is Nikki Heaton. Apparently, she's got nothing to do with the industry anymore, and she live in a farm somewhere out west, and she don't give a fuck about nothing. So she decided to come forward and speak her piece, and here we go.
Deep breath. Okay.
And Kanye kept looking at Lauren, and they were exchanging glances, and I'm like, they're watching me strangely. I'm like, okay, let me pretend to drink, and I'm not actually doing it. And that seemed to make them happy, me pretending to join in. And immediately I'm like, there's something fucking in this drink. There's something in this drink. And I didn't know what to do. And I my manager was across the room, but close enough, but not next to me, so I couldn't whisper to her. But I wanted to tell her, hey, don't fucking drink this. There's something wrong with this. But I couldn't. So I reach for my phone and I start to type, and Kanye takes the phone out of my hand and he's like, who are you texting? You don't need to text anyone. We're having a party. And I was like, okay. And he puts it on one of the speakers. And I'm like, fuck. Now what do I do? I don't know what to do. And I see my manager take a sip. And I'm like, fuck. Now what do I do? And then I see her take another sip. 2 sips out of this little vodka cranberry cup. And I'm like, oh, what do I do? 2 sips, and I watch her face flush. And all of a sudden, I look over and she's speaking really loud and making jokes. And I'm like, whoa, this isn't her. She doesn't make jokes. She's fucking terrified of people. She doesn't even talk. And I was like, it's already hitting her. 100%, I just knew that the drinks were all laced with something. And she starts almost being belligerent a little bit, but not in a crazy way, just really enjoying herself. And I'm like, that's not her. She doesn't even want to be here. This is weird. And all of a sudden she dismisses the studio host. She's like, you can leave. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And the girls file out. They go to a different studio, or they go somewhere. And I'm like, I have to do something. I have to do something. What do I do? And I go and I go to get my phone where Kanye put it on one of the speakers, and as I'm going to get it, I turn and my manager's walking out, and I'm like, no, like where are you going? I'm already seeing people being like, this is cap. What do I have to gain? Let me just ask you, what do I have to gain? I'm in a fucking farm in the middle of nowhere. I'm not in the industry anymore. I'm not filing a lawsuit, so I'm not getting paid. I'm not looking for clout, because who gives a fuck about me? So why would I lie about this? This has been 9.5 years since this happened to me. Why would I? Let me go on. I don't, whatever. Yeah, so I see her start to leave. And I'm like, where are you going? And she's like, it's fine, I'm just going to the bathroom. And I was like, no, stay. And she's like, it's right there, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. And I was like, okay. And she walks out. And all of a sudden, I realize that I'm in this studio. The music's low, the lights are dim, but you can still like see everything. And I realize that I'm in the studio with Diddy and Kanye, and they're both off their shit. And there's 3 other men, an executive that works with Kanye, his engineer, and his cousin, and me. Alone. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. And I haven't started freaking out yet. Like, I know what the situation is. I know, I know this is a bad place to be in, but I don't really feel scared yet, you know? Like, cause I'm like, there's other people around, there's other men around, and I know them. Like, I've known them for a while. Like, nothing bad's gonna happen. And I'm standing there, and I realize that so this is like a pretty, like, sizable studio. There's, like, the glass doors, the couch there, a console, another console, the screen, all of that. But it's, like, it's pretty big, but you can still see and talk to everyone easily. And I realize that I'm standing really close to the exit. And it's a glass door, and it opens in. And I'm standing pretty close to it. And I realize all of a sudden that Kanye and Diddy have realized that I'm the only girl in the room. And they're like fucked out of their minds. And they start coming towards me, and they're like, don't you want to take your clothes off? Like, it's so hot in here. And I'm like, no, fine. I'm fine like this. And they're like, come on, like, it's just us, like, we're all just friends, like, let us just, like, see, like, how you look. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine. And, like, I still haven't gotten scared yet, you know? Like, I'm still, like, this is a bad situation, I'm creeped out, but, like, there's no reason to panic. There's other men here. Hold on a second. Yeah, so they're coming towards me, and I'm like, okay, this is fucked. I don't know where my manager is. I don't know where anyone is. And they're coming towards me more, and they're trying to, like, take my clothes off. And I'm like at that point where I'm like, this is not good, but I'm, like, still trying to, like, play it off. Just like, stop, you guys are fucking stupid. Like, get out of here, don't touch me. Like, a little bit scared. Did this just freeze? Okay, no, it's back. Okay, so let me just get to the point. So they start trying, like, they're, like, pawing at me. Like, they're both drunk, probably on something else. And I start to get a little bit apprehensive because I'm pretty much, like, backed up against the wall. Like, there's only one exit, and I'm pressed up against this door. And I'm still not completely terrified yet, but I'm like, you guys stop. Like, stop. And they're getting to the point where they had, like, ripped my shirt off. And, like, I'm, like, almost fully exposed at this point. And they're both coming at me. And I'm like, you guys, like, seriously, this isn't funny anymore. And I look to my left where his executive is. Like, we know him pretty well. Like, we've been around him a lot. He's literally 3 feet away from me. Like, if I reached and he reached too, like, we could touch. Like, he's that close. And I look, and I'm like, hey, like, I give that look where I'm just like, come on, like, step in, like, this isn't cool, like, you're a grown man, like, you're, like, 50 years old, I know you have a family, like, you know this isn't right, like, do something. And this is the part that for as long as I live, I will never fucking forget. It isn't actually the aspect of being sexually assaulted. That's not what haunts me. It's this. It's as these two grown men were pawing at me, trying to take my clothes off, I look over to this man asking for help, and I literally mouth the word help. And we lock eyes. And he looks away. I'm like, okay, there's two more men in the room. And I look to his engineer next, who's sitting right next to him. And I know that he's married, and he just had a little baby girl. And I'm like, okay, he's gonna do something. And I look at him next, and I'm like, okay, like, do something, say something, do anything. And he looks down at his phone and starts texting. And then I was like, oh, fuck. I look at Kanye's cousin next. And I'm like, do something, like fucking do something. And he spins his chair around. And that's when that, like, gut-wrenching fear set in. And I was like, oh shit. No one's fucking saving me tonight. No one's gonna do anything. No one's gonna do fucking anything. And that's when I was truly fucking scared. At this point, they had ripped my shirt off, and they were trying to get my pants off. And I realized that I was completely alone. And I closed my eyes for a second. And I was like, God help me. What do I do? And as my eyes were closed, this is going to sound weird, because I bet a lot of you are wondering, like, how the fuck did you get out of this situation? My eyes were closed, and I prayed. And I said, God help me, what do I do? And it was like,
That's it.
Damn.
And you wonder why they're choosing the bear. And you also wonder why we say men, not all, don't say all of us, no. It's all y'all to us, none of y'all. Because if it's not the people that's actually doing it, the ones that see this shit isn't doing anything about it.
And just so you know, this link will be in the bio, so you can actually go follow it and see the third part. She did end up getting out of the situation. She ended up taking a step forward and surprising them because they were drunk and off their ass. And she ran into another studio room. And unfortunately, her manager did not get out, because when she finally left that studio room, they were assaulting her. I really want people to get rid of their idea of celebrity super, super deeply. I need us to throw it the fuck away. We've decided that certain people are not almost like that they're just so above reproach that anytime anybody says anything bad about them, they're hating, they're broke, they're poor, they're jealous, they're trying to get money.
Like, the person that you're idolizing is raping people, sexually assaulting people, and you think since I'm saying that means I'm jealous, or that, yes, I am poor. Most Americans are poor. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
My God.
You think you're a temporarily embarrassed billionaire? You're going to be like them someday? Sorry, most likely you're not. That's not how the system works. They won't allow it. It's just really unfortunate, and it goes to show you that even men know that men are scary. They saw that shit and didn't do anything.
Because, and let me
Hell
tell you
yeah, I'm
something.
choosing the bear.
And let me tell you something. That was fear.
Mm-hmm.
That was fear that made that man look into her eyes after she mouthed the word help. And he turned away. And one spun their chair. And one starts texting. That's fear. They're just as afraid. And a lot of times, when people say things like this, there's very much a visceral reaction. Just like when black women were asked if you would rather be in a corporate office with a white man or a white woman. Do you know what they chose? They chose the white man because they know that white women are so much more dangerous to them. This is what I mean when we're talking about intersections. And I feel like a lot of people really lose the plot because they are spending so much time being offended. They're spending so much time being offended. Like if we were to ask trans women who they would prefer, I bet we might be surprised at the answer. I am so disgusted, but I'm obviously not like surprised. But I guess I just didn't think it went that far with Kanye. I knew obviously it went that far with Diddy because we've been saying that nigga's been going far for the last like 27 years. We have really had the idea that Kanye has just been a sick, crazy, deranged, self-hating ass Negro. I did not know we were adding this on to the list. I really didn't. I truly didn't. And when people say things like Jay-Z is next, when people say things like I'm getting to the point where it's like, I'm gonna stop being like, you think so? And just be like, well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. Because at this point, y'all not about to go ahead and shock me anymore. This idea of what, because we have to realize at the end of the day, no matter what we've connected to in reference to their music, no matter what era that they feel like they've made a whole soundtrack to, that's got nothing to do with the person that they fucking are. And we need to stop pretending that just because we connected with them in this moment, and I don't care who it is. But on to the next.
So, in Louisiana, America, in Louisiana, the Ten Commandments are required in schools. And just recently in Oklahoma, the Bible is required in schools. Not the Quran or the Torah or all the other things included with that, just the Bible.
And you know what's funnier? I thought this was already a thing. That's how bad it was. I'm not even joking. I thought that this shit was already a thing in 2020. So to find out that they were talking about it in 2020, and 4 years later, the hard work is paid off, and they finally.
So instead of 2025, it's actually probably 2020. You're a little 5 years too late.
It's been going on.
It's been happening. We keep saying that.
Yeah, we've been talking about the things happening in reference to the overturn of Roe versus Wade for a long time. Women dying from sepsis. Women, just the most horrific things happening to women, especially in the South. And we don't really seem to care. And it feels like they are trying to make it so there's so much happening that we become so desensitized that we're just like, what else?
Yeah.
What else? It's already against the law to be homeless as of these last couple days.
They really want them dead is what it is. If you're not a quote-unquote productive member to society, you don't get to be a runaway slave. You need to be shot.
Honestly, no, they don't want them dead. They want them in jail so they can continue to use their bodies for labor. free labor that is legal within our own Constitution.
Yeah.
That is what they really, really want. Because at the end of the day, they know there's going to be some debt. There's going to be some people who decide.
What pisses me off is like when I hear people say, "Oh, I just wish they would get out the way." I'm talking for like, it just the classism jumps out so much.
It does. It does.
As if they're being an inconvenient. Like, this is how the system wants us to be, though, to each other.
I mean, this is why during the Super Bowl we're just moving tents out of the way,
stepping over bodies,
or putting them on buses, putting them on buses and sending them to New York. This has been a apocalyptic dystopian hellscape for a long time, and we are now seeing it clearer and clearer every day. And I guess my issue is like, how much more do y'all need to say? Like, what else do you need to know that this is really, really fucking bad?
It's going to have to be literally not just in the front yard, but in their house for other people to be like, oh shit, we need to actually do something. This isn't. That's the thing. That's what a lot of people, Blue MAGA, don't care about. They want silent imperialism. They don't really care about this. We're still going to vote for him because we want a slow death, not a quick death. We want to keep shit going.
Oh my goodness. And speaking of the slow death rattle.
Oh, I did want to play this video real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Education official in Oklahoma directing all schools across the state to incorporate the Bible and the Ten Commandments into the curriculum. The new requirement for grades 5 through 12, effective immediately.
Every teacher, every classroom in the state will have a Bible in the classroom and will be teaching from the Bible in the classroom.
Oklahoma's Superintendent Ryan Walters calling the Bible a necessary historical document to teach our kids about the history of this country. The move coming just days after Louisiana became the first state to require all public school classrooms to display the Ten Commandments. Texas and Utah weighing similar laws. Civil liberties groups are already suing Louisiana, arguing its new law is unconstitutional and violates the separation of church and state. Today's move by Oklahoma, they say, is part of a larger trend.
In Oklahoma, 12% of adults over 18 have below basic literacy skills, and 31% have basic literacy skills. Basic literacy skills are those needed to perform everyday literacy tasks and are similar to reading levels between 4th and 7th grade. Additionally, 20% of adults have less than 12% have less than a 12th grade education, and 6% have less than a 9th grade education. I'm just wondering, is there like grammar in the Bible?
There's a lot of words in the Bible.
Are they going to use that as your science? Well, I mean, they've been wanting to do that forever. They've been wanting to use the Bible as a science book forever, so I guess that's what we're...
The presidential debate was... I'm so tired. This is so much shit.
Listen.
I'm so tired. The presidential debate was 2 days ago. I saw reactions of people watching it. I didn't be like, oh, I want to watch this. Because it went no, it actually went worse than what I expected. We are F-U-C-K-E-D.
It went worse than anyone at all expected. That was actually shocking. And the reason why it was shocking is because I thought that they would at least have Biden propped up and with his medication in so that he could not trail off in the middle of a sentence or just like, and it like the whole thing gave the two dirty uncles who was fighting at the barbecue, because for some reason they decided to go back and forth about
golf. When I say these motherfuckers play golf together, I guess y'all think I'll be joking. They actually do, Republicans and Democrats. Y'all know that, right? But you think one of them it's going to.
Listen, they're just trying to reach across the aisle so they can come to a...
And that's the problem. They're pussified as hell. Oh, well, Democrats are better for black folks, but they keep reaching across to the other white supremacist side to get their validation.
But the thing about it is like at the end of the day, the Democrats are... People need to understand that for the Democrats, racism is not a deal breaker. It is only a deal breaker when it is something that is publicized and on the outside and something that they actually have to take account for. If we're gonna be for real, the Democrats and the Republicans really aren't that different. They really aren't that different because at the end of the day, the people who are doing the work are the people on the ground. Because I promise you, the people on the ground who are just trying to feed their community, that bureaucracy and that red tape is blue and red. Of them. Just to do community gardens. I want to do a class for all of the kids in this area. I want to throw a dinner. I just want to do something for my community. Who do you think they're fighting? So it makes no sense. Everybody at this point is voting against their own self-interest, and I feel like
that's why I'm saying if you're voting this election, you're basically just asking yourself, do you want a quick death or do you want a slow death? It ain't no which one is better. No. How do you want your death to be?
And at the end of the day, I am not about to... I will sleep well at night because I'm not voting for the lesser of two genociders. Because at the end of the day, Biden was here for this part of the genocide. When Trump goes in, did you think it was going to end? He would also be taking on the mantle. It wouldn't matter. We would still be licking the asshole of Israel, who is continuing to train our police forces, who are killing black and brown people. That we have been, it's just this sick cycle that we pretend is not connected. It's disgusting. And you don't think Israel has anything to do with the Congo? You don't think that this imperialism isn't going on in other places?
Y'all are not going to make me feel sorry for not wanting to vote for someone who is going to slaughter black and brown folks across seas. And hell, even here, because once again, another policy that Trump wanted to do, that Biden just did, he gave the police millions of our taxpayer dollars, and he also just hired 100,000 more cops. So, once again, the wall is still being built, deportations through fucking roof. These are things, so what are you talking about?
I don't know. We haven't talked about the children in cages for a long time. Are they adults now? Are they still in cages? Did they ever get back to their parents? Did we just, stop caring about that storyline? I
guess since the cages are blue, that don't really matter, though.
It's just like, for some reason, during Trump's presidency, we really cared about that shit. But then as soon as Biden's in office, did we even try to hold him accountable even for that? Fuck the student loans. We always knew that shit was never coming. But my God, man, this is.
I guarantee you, if Trump was a Democrat like he used to be, and if Biden was a Republican, which he basically is, you motherfuckers would say we gotta vote for Trump to save democracy because at the end of the day, he's a Democrat. And don't lie to me and say that you wouldn't. You wouldn't. That's what we call y'all blue MAGA.
You are literally trying to rationalize away a vote for a man who is in office and literally the overseer of a 50, 60,000 children dead, how many 100,000 people gone, whole families? And there's actually people already trying to bid on the land that the Palestinians are dying on right now. I'm not about to play these games. I honestly can't. I honestly can't do it.
Y'all are the Lulu just like MAGA. I'm sorry. Y'all are. It's the same cadence, the same script. Y'all just putting blue behind it. It's the y'all
Literally.
saying the same shit that Trump's
You
doing.
just sound a little bit smarter because you are a little bit smarter, but not by much. Because honestly, because you're still trying to rationalize why our taxpayer dollars are going over to Israel that's giving them free health care, that's giving them their paved roads, that's going ahead and feeding their kids, like their education, their health, and that we can't get. Subsidize, especially since the settlers, they're just stealing homes at this point.
Yeah. But I don't know, y'all. I will be wrapped up in my blanket that night. I'm not going to stay up to watch the world end that night. If it happens, whatever. I'm done. I have nothing left to give.
I know.
And
I'm trying to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and I know a lot of black folks are still going to vote for Biden. I know this.
Oh yeah. Out of fear.
Out of fear.
Out of fear.
Because you ain't black if you don't vote for me.
Oh my God. I hope that's not what they're thinking, but Jesus Christ, I wouldn't be too shocked. All right.
I want to play this video and let me know what you think.
Okay.
Probably should have had it pulled up. I think I sent you this too. But I was like, actually don't watch it because I want to use it for the show.
Then I probably didn't.
That it was cool.
Okay.
One of the time was telling a group of men that it was cool to be stupid, while simultaneously telling the same group of men that they're supposed to be the leaders. To convince an entire demographic that what it means to be a man is to be physically strong, emotionally unregulated, and intellectually deficient, while simultaneously creating an information technology-driven workforce. To convince an entire demographic of men with nothing other than physical labor to offer us economic value, that they have inherent value in an information technology-driven workforce. To convince an entire demographic of men that the very things that are necessary to gain any type of power, education, intelligence, emotional regulation, hygiene and appearance, effective communication, soft skills, are all feminine. But when you think about it, it's the perfect grip. Tell them that they are inherently masculine and have them hyper-focus on that. Define masculinity for them. But when you define it, make sure that it has nothing to do with gaining actual power. And while they so busy looking at your motherfucking left hand, they'll never see what you're doing with your right. So with that right hand, take everything that you know that gains true power and convince them that it's feminine. Keep them focused on powerlessness. Keep them focused on masculinity. And they'll never know that you have true power hiding from them in plain sight. You just labeled it feminine. And they'll never figure it out because you convinced them from an early age that it was cool to be stupid. That education is a joke. They will define themselves by their criminality. It will be woven into their identity. So now that criminality is woven into their masculinity, it's woven into their identity. And their identity of masculinity is to be dumb, powerless, and physically strong. They will unleash the only power that they have on their entire community. They will unleash violence on their entire community. They feel entitled to power, and the only power that they have is violence. So they feel entitled to violence. They're emotionally unregulated. So violence becomes their only means of emotional expression. They will become a cancer, a plague, locust to their entire community. So even though you have hidden the keys to real power under the guise of feminine, even when the feminine attains those keys, they're men who are physically stronger. They're men who feel entitled to power. They're men who express power through violence. They're emotionally undisciplined, unregulated men will beat, rape, and kill them before they ever get the chance to use it. Damn, that's one hell of a scam. The greatest scam of all time.
Thoughts?
I think there's a lot of accuracy in that, and that I think it also pertains to most cis het men. I want to say.
Because the true power that we talk about is labeled feminine unto them.
On a regular basis.
On a regular basis. So they really think it's okay to be stupid and stay stupid.
And not want to learn more or decide that there is more to learn.
Hygiene, all because just be stupid and masculine, macho all the time. Don't get in touch with your emotions. That's feminine.
Yeah, the
When that's
emotional
power with
regulation.
that,
Yeah,
but
they can't see that.
wow.
Yeah, I can actually almost agree with all that.
And then I like how he broke down. I think he was mostly talking about especially straight black men.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was talking to
Yeah.
a lot of straight black men, but I think that a lot of straight black men would watch it and get too caught up in the fact that this is something that happens with all men. Like this is like he's talking to black men specifically, but this is definitely all men. But I feel like sadly a lot of black men would get caught up in that, being like, well, this happens with all men and all demographics instead of actually trying to figure out why that is. But yeah.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate because there is so much power outside of just, like you said, violence and being hyper masculine all the time. But growing up as men, we're not taught that you can't do these things.
I feel like people don't like to see power outside of the binary, and they certainly don't like to see power outside of masculinity specifically, because anything that's feminine has to be weaker, the weaker sex, blah blah blah, whatever the case is. And I think when it comes to masculinity, they have it so centered to the point where it really is a blind spot.
Yeah.
They honestly can't see past those ideas of masculinity, so they're not going to try and search deeper or try to look further or try to find out more
And hold each other accountable. Yeah, just one time. And then he did another video about this.
Serious answer. Let's brainstorm. Are some of these gay black men speaking about straight black men, or are they speaking on certain issues and subjects? If the answer is yes, they're just speaking on certain subjects, not straight black men, then those whom feel affected need to unpack why they view those issues as synonymous with straight black men. If the answer is no, they are not talking about certain issues and subjects, they are in fact talking about straight black men as if they themselves are not black men. If that is in fact the case, I will say it makes sense. It isn't the fact that the gay black man thinks that he is not a black man. It is the fact that he knows that they are not the same type of black man. So using black as if it could supersede the fact that there are two different types of black men means nothing. And they do not care what non-white people have to say about what white people think. White people see you all the same. Shut the fuck up, you ain't white. Throughout history, straight black men have shown that being black is a non-factor. Does his blackness supersede him being an op? No, because being black will not protect you from the consequences that come from being an op. Is black more important than gay? No. As a matter of fact, gay is the most important identifier. It is more important than black and child. They spend their entire lives telling gay black men that they're not the same. So the gay black man just says, okay. They're perfectly fine with this separation until a gay black man does something that they like or admire. Then they will tell themselves that this obvious gay man is not gay. If some gay black men discuss straight black men as if they are not both black men, rightfully, they're justified to do so. They're simply doing what straight men told them to do in the first place. Straight black men had never put being black above anything, so why should gay black men put being black above the separate title? Straight black men will abandon, disown, and discard the black child that they created with their own black body because that black child is gay. He will then commit a Class B felony just so that he can have enough money to drape himself in garments and trinkets that are uttered with the names of gay men. Just because those men are white. Their gay black child may be homeless in a garbage can at the Greyhound station, but they can do and will give up their freedom just to be a billboard for a gay white man. Being black never meant anything to that type of black man. That type of black man aligns more with being a male than he does with being black. And by prioritizing being a male over being black, gives him the illusion of the proximity to the white man's power. And you wanted to know why some gay black men speak as if they're not the same type of black men as some of those black men. So remember, when you tell your little gay black son that he different, that he not like those other boys, that's going to be the best piece of advice that you could ever teach him.
Thoughts? I like the way he broke down, because a lot of them do put the maleness before the blackness, because again, proximity to white male patriarchy.
Yeah, that I could definitely agree with. But I will also say that I
But I also, he said something, I was like, I see the vision.
yeah, no, that's what I was gonna. That's why I was almost gonna opt out in a certain way, being like, I am not a black man at all. So I don't want to pretend to know. However, that seems really accurate, and I know that you have seen this up close and personal, which is why you played it. So because you've seen them go ahead and try to separate you, refuse to see you as anything except male, refuse to see anything outside of that, and then say that you are trying to put your sexuality in front of your blackness. As you constantly see those same black men go ahead and put their maleness in front of their blackness whenever it's
because if their blackness really was before the maleness, they wouldn't be disregarding the black gay sons, being black, or the
long laundry list of things that they do. No, this is why I was just like, I'm not willing to go ahead and commit to it personally, because I don't have personal experience, but I know that you do. And I know that it's something that you see constantly, and it's something that I see sometimes in the workspace when our blackness does not matter. It's who is going to be I don't want to say nearest to whiteness, but who's going to perform the most? Who's going to give the plantation the most something that's going to be lucrative? And you will see black people, all of a sudden, that blackness thing really don't matter, because we trying to get to that almighty dollar.
Especially black celebrities, girl.
So
taking pictures.
Listen, so I can't deny. That's where I'll leave it. I can't deny that.
Let's see what else we have. Michael Rainey.
Okay. Oh gosh, I guess we'll end it on Michael Rainey. I just want to say that Aaron and I are always going to make sure this is a safe place for above all black queer people, but also above all black victims. And to see Michael Rainey be assaulted on screen in front of all of us, and to see the very disgusting reaction. And it's very funny because a lot of them were men. The same men who are asking for us to talk about them when they are victims of certain things are literally looking at Michael Rainey and saying, like, I don't know what the issue is. I can't understand what the issue is. I can't believe that you're about to make an issue out of this. This seems silly. Like, I really had no issue with this man pressing charges, because what that woman did was wrong.
Yeah.
What the fuck? But if it was a woman who was getting her pussy grabbed, which apparently is also okay because he's also the president or whatever, but if it was a woman, we would not be having the same conversation.
Oh, yeah.
There would be charges. Not will they press charges. There would be charges. There would be an arrest, especially since that happened on screen in front of everybody.
Right.
And I want to really dissect why we refuse to see young boys and male bodies as victims of sexual assault. Especially when it's by a woman. Now, when it's by a man, it's like, oh, sorry, son. They usually, they're like, well, that's how it goes. They give some kind of excuse.
But
right?
Again, going back to the world's greatest scam, like, it is what it is. As long as it's masculine that happened, like, I'm a real man now.
And also,
it's okay.
And then when it does happen, where let's say it's a male assailant with a male victim, a lot of times it's just not spoken about at all. We just don't have these conversations.
Yeah.
And then I just feel so bad for him. Like, that happened on screen. And my whole thing is, like, do we never think about the fact that we don't even afford them to actually be victims? I always take it back to D. Ray Davis, and I know everybody remembers that Vlad interview with that stupid ass white man who keeps on interviewing us. I don't know why we let him.
Right.
And he literally, and D. Ray Davis is talking about how he was sexually assaulted as a young boy, forced to orally pleasure some older women. And do you know, this nigga's laughing in his face. D. Ray Davis looked like he was about to cry. We can't look at him like that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. And I also want these bitches who be going to concerts, I need you to learn to keep your fucking hands to yourself. I'm really beginning to see
I've seen a lot of that going around.
Like I remember going to a Jadena concert, and when I say these women were, I thought it was like, oh, you know, we touched his chest a little bit, you know, that's fine. This woman tried to stick her hand down his pants.
Child.
It brings me to, you know, I think about D'Angelo and how he wanted so much not to be looked at as a piece of meat, and that's all we ever saw him as, to the point where he stopped doing music.
If you don't care about my music, you just see me as a walking dildo.
As a body part, to the point where the man just really stopped doing fucking music. Like, I feel like it's really sad that we regularly don't regard women as victims to a lot of different shit, right? But at least we afford them a little bit of grace to be victims. Mm-hmm. We don't do that for men at all. And that's what the thing that men should really be actually talking about. And they don't. The fact that they're scared too. The fact that they would choose the bear too. We're not having that fucking conversation at all. Like, and it's really unfortunate, like, especially, like I said, when it comes to sexual assault, especially when it's by a woman. It's like, well, hey, patriarchy has told you that every time that you have an interaction with a woman, that is a notch on your belt, and that means that you are more of a man. Do you realize how patriarchy has put him in a space to actually be a victim of sexual assault? So you can have sick bitches like Mary Kay Letourneau or whoever else is doing crazy shit out here, fucking 15-year-old boys. Mary J. Blige, I heard about you.
Yeah.
All right. Doing these.
But she did give me the type of, like, very much like, give me some sugar.
Honestly, she looks like a person who was abused by a lot of men around her and was probably looking to finally be in a space of power. Doesn't make it any less wrong or fucked up. That's what I see. Mm-hmm. She was coming up with Diddy. We can.
That's why when people say, "Oh, this person's next," yeah, we'll just have to see, because I can't pretend to be surprised anymore when it comes to, you know, anyone.
Mm-mm. Bruno Mars being a Zionist was not on my bingo card for 2024. I'm sorry, it just wasn't. It just wasn't. I did not expect that. It was already bad enough that we had Beyonce being like, we'll play our movie wherever. Like, you know, just so they could also sing You Can't Break My Soul. I thought that was really weird. But again, we need to stop giving so much energy to celebrity. We really do. And we need to stop letting them sell us shit.
And it's so bad. Like, this is how strong consumerism is. I'm seeing, like, stands when Beyonce or Rihanna puts out something. Oh, please don't release this. I only got $10 left to my name, but I'm going to somehow show up anyway, or I guess I'll just get evicted and just go to this concert. Like, y'all are saying this out loud. They got y'all real bad. Like, please don't release anything, Beyonce. I got to pay rent this month.
Listen,
Like,
you know how bad I want to go to that Megan Thee Stallion concert? You know how bad I wanted to go to that Megan Thee Stallion concert? Just so I could shake these creaky knees at somebody? Do you know how bad I wanted to go? But my money was fucked up, and we needed to buy food and pay rent. So we just decided.
She's not gonna pay our rent. She's not gonna keep these lights on. They
Listen,
don't know us.
we got Meg the Stallion at home. That's really all we can do at this point. Like, and I just really want us to be in a space where we can really divest from celebrity in general, appreciate the art that they give us, and keep it fucking moving. Because anything else is truly asinine. We've seen what it's been able to accomplish. One of our other episodes was talking about the dream. Like, this is the industry. This is systematic and embedded in the industry. And we need to stop pretending that everybody just, they can't know nothing. Not mine. Not the one I love so much. Not my celebrity. Stop it. Stop it.
They don't know you, babes. They don't know who you are. And they wouldn't spit on you if you was on fire. They trying to get brands from Israel. They are focused on just themselves, and that's it.
And I need y'all to realize.
We got two celebrities that's talking about Palestine.
I mean, two celebrities that I know of. I'm sure there's more. Sadly, they just don't reach my algorithm. That's all I have to say. But Kehlani and Amanda Seales, shout out to them. Losing a bunch of shit. Losing all kind of managers and stuff like that. Deals. But you know what I did notice?
And that's why a lot of these celebrities aren't saying anything.
It's true. But let me tell you something. But notice, Amanda Seales is not a big celebrity. Kehlani, love you, death girl. She for the people, She be giving us mixtapes and shit. You know what I'm saying? She's our lesbian, non-binary goddess. I'm not sure what's happening, but you know what I mean. That's who we love. But let's keep it 100. We keep her afloat, and she knows it because she tells us, and that's okay. Symbiotic relationship, right? But you got people who never need to put out an album, who never need to ever put out a stitch of work for the rest of their lives, and their lives will not change. Mm-hmm. So when people are like, oh, they're scared they're losing brand deals, and I'm like, nigga, this is just greed. Yeah. You don't need anything. About, oh, I can't make my kids' school fee. Rihanna, you are not going to be worried about, I'm not going to be able to make this tour. Beyonce.
Right. That's why I have to give Sister a break, girl. I haven't listened to Cowboy Carter for real that much because I'm just tired. Like, she just put out some shit, another vinyl, talking about, oh, this is the official vinyl. I'm like, what the fuck? So, when is it enough?
You just want to milk us dry. And my whole thing
is, and then you got her fans in the comments, oh, damn, I just got paid, but I guess I'll use it towards this. Like, they got y'all real bad. They don't give a fuck about you.
The cult of celebrity is heavy. And we're not saying you don't have choices to not buy things. I'm saying that these celebrities have choices not to peddle us bullshit while still standing for nothing. That's what I'm saying. And the fact that we support them is still pretty shitty.
Double cat cussing out her fans. Like, bitch, without the fans, you wouldn't be, you do know that, right?
And honestly, the reason why Doja Cat is going to continue to get a pass is because she's an amazing performer. So until she starts to fuck up, and she's very desirable, but until she starts to fuck up on stage or become less desirable, until then she's going to continue to be able to, show feet in racist chat rooms.
Yep. Talking about, say nigger with me. Like, you really just giving permission to white men.
She just want to be Allison to these niggas and just be like, not my problem. But anyway, that is it. That is all. I am going to be making sure to get this uploaded so y'all can get it as quick as possible. As per usual, I want to thank y'all for listening to this podcast. Thank you for still fucking with us after such a long.
Yeah.
Because that really was, it was about 7 months. It was about 7 months where we were just living life trying to get shit together because I had moved all the way from Denver to where we are right now, and it was just so much. But the fact that y'all have hung in with us this entire time, I just want to say thank you so much.
Yes, thank y'all so much. We're going to, again, keep putting out more episodes. We're going to go on TikTok Live more. We back. We're going to try to keep this momentum going.
Absolutely.
You can follow us on Earth_is_ghetto_. Wait.
The Instagram, it's in the bio.
It's in the bio.
It's all in the bio. I click it, I paste, you click.
You see the eyes.
Gardening.
Oh, this is
gardening.
We got on TikTok.
Oh, I forgot. Never mind. Okay, yeah. Sometimes it goes. But anyway,
gardening.
I don't.
Look, it got us bad. Look.
I'm like,
look,
who's coming? No, my bad. But yes, most definitely. I will see y'all in the next one.
Bye.
Peace.